Welcome to Down the Road. You know, we're heading into Easter week. This is going to be our last show of this week. I hope you're off to a great early Easter weekend. If I were you, I'd fake sick and just not go to work tomorrow, or at least find a way to not go to work tomorrow. Today, obviously, the story of the week in western North Dakota. You don't have to go that far west out of the Fargo area before it gets to be the story. Big time is snow. I saw some of the pictures on social media, and I spoke to a lot of friends out there who had places to go, and they are socked in. Look at those snow numbers. I mean, Glenburn, over 30 inches of snow. Williston, 17 inches of snow. We could keep going down the list there, but you see it. It's not good. And, of course, if what I'm being told about the forecast is accurate, it's not going to warm up, so it disappears right away. Obviously, it's spring, and the men and women want to get out in the field. And, of course, we're dealing with calving at the same time. So we'll visit with Daryl Richardson about that a little bit later. Good friend to us here down the road. But before that, the sheriff in Cass County is Sheriff Jesse Jahner. I've known Jesse for a while now. I've known him as a deputy prior to all of this, when he was doing a lot of outreach to those small communities and getting out there and kind of being the face and the voice of the Cass County Sheriff's Department prior to running for sheriff. Well, he ran and he won, and now he's running again. Let's bring him in. Jesse, good to have you coming down the road with us.
Thanks, Joel. Thanks for having me on. I always appreciate being on with you and being able to get information out about the Cass County Sheriff's Office.
Well, the obvious question is, why are you running again? You must like the job.
Well, certainly, I love the job. A lot of things come to mind when you ask me that. Certainly, to start off with, I grew up in this community, graduated from Fargo North, went to NDSU, and so I'm very vested in the community. I feel that the office of the sheriff is a very important office, a very important law enforcement office for many different reasons. Number one, you're representing the people directly. The people vote me into this position or vote the sheriff into that position. And so it's very important, I think, for those reasons. The other reason is I think I feel I have a lot of leadership experience to bring to the table. Over the last 3 years, I've led the Cass County Sheriff's Office. We've had a lot of adversity, whether it's been in the community or within our organization. When I first started off, we had a flood. The next year, we had a lot of civil unrest. And then over this last year, the pandemic. And so leading through those challenges has definitely given me, I believe, really good experience. It's also given my team really good experience. I've got a great leadership team, and I feel like together we've accomplished a lot, but there's still a lot to do. We're facing some issues right now, some personnel issues, which you and I have talked about before, and some space issues at our jail. So, something that we're currently studying and looking to get more room in there to provide, a better level of public safety to our community. So, certainly feel like we've done a lot of things over the first 3 years together as an organization, and looking forward to the next several years to again lead the sheriff's office and provide a good public safety to our community in Cass County.
Now, I want to make sure people understand about the comment about personnel issues, because the personnel issues that you and I have talked about in the past is just basically finding the people, being able to fill some of those slots, and that's, you don't have immunity on that. That's nationwide. That's going on all over the place. And so if you look at the number of open positions that you had, that if you had qualified people, you could fill them tomorrow. How many spots are open for you?
Yeah, so let's if I could first start off by just talking about the Sheriff's Office organization as a whole. Okay. We're a very large organization. Most people don't know that we have approximately 235 employees. Of course, we're down a little bit right now, like we're talking about here. But it's large. You have one of the jails that everybody counts on.
Yeah, my county counts on you. Many people count on Cass County Jail for a lot of issues.
Sure. So a very, very large organization, and that the Sheriff's Office encompasses providing public safety through field services, and then providing public safety through the jail. And our jail is 348 capacity jail, so it's a fairly large jail. We currently find ourselves down around 20 employees. I know when you and I had visited before, we were down about 25, and so we've moved in a positive direction over the last maybe month or so. But very much like you said, this is a national phenomenon where there's just a shortage of law law enforcement applicants right now, not a lot of people going into the profession. And I contribute that to a bunch of different reasons. Certainly the criticism over the profession has been some of the issues. And then, I think pay, benefits, things like that also affect the profession. And so we've been doing a number of things at the Sheriff's Office to try to turn that around. My staff and I have put together a recruiting team. And so we have a team that goes out continually now, whether it be to the high schools, to colleges. We've done some walk-in interviews off the street just to try to bring in more applicants. Our commissioners have been very, very supportive to me in asking for better pay and benefits. We did some adjustments to our overtime so people would get paid for overtime quicker than what they used to.
Okay.
Our initial starting salary was a little over $19 an hour, and I've gone to the commission now and asked them, hey, we need to raise this up to attract more applicants, especially when you can just go down the street to another business and almost make that $19 an hour, right? And people working at other businesses don't have to worry about, maybe someone, that they're going to be assaulted the whole time they're at work, which is what our staff needs to worry about at different times and things like that. And so we raised that pay to a little over $21 an hour starting off. And then within that first year, if those individuals who come to us complete what's called correctional officer basic, then they can move up to $22 an hour. So, a jump in pay, which is always good. And then we have some sign-on bonuses that were also approved. So we're doing a number of different things to try to recruit people and get them into our organization. And again, a number of those efforts have been done by not only me, but by my staff.
Well, and just to put things in perspective, $21 an hour, which, as you pointed out, is starting, is just $42K a year. And that isn't a huge salary for the type of trained men and women that you're trying to recruit. I mean, these are professionals, and these are people that are in harm's way any given day. And so, yes, it's starting, but I can see why you had to increase it in order to be able to recruit at all.
Yeah, for sure. So, and we're competing with a lot of different businesses, as you know, Joel. Everywhere you drive around in the Fargo, Moorhead area, people are looking to hire all the time. And so there, you see job postings and recruiting efforts from all kinds of different businesses. And so we're really competing with all of those.
You're short 20 people out of 200 and some. I get that. And maybe some areas that you'd really like to focus on that area, whether it's people working at the jail, whether it's, that's kind of in your wheelhouse. But you're still able to get the job done. You mentioned, whether it be the riots, whatever, the cooperation you have, for example, with the Fargo Police Force, and the leadership that you've put in when it comes to going to all these different things. Do you have the people you need to continue the type of protection that the people of Cass County expect?
We do. I feel very confident in our efforts that we can put forth to provide public safety to this community. And very much like you said, partnerships are very important to our office, whether it be community partnerships or whether it be those other law enforcement agency partnerships. And so certainly working collaborative with all of those different groups is very important, whether it's, working with our community and them reporting crimes, being those eyes and ears for us on the street and letting us know, who's doing that criminal activity. And then working with those other law enforcement agencies. We have a number of collaborative efforts, such as the Metro Area Street Crimes Unit, our Cass County Drug Task Force, our Fugitive Recovery program, so that we partner with the U.S. Marshal Service. And so all of those help us, right? Because if I put one person on the Metro Area Street Crimes Unit and Fargo Police Department put someone on there in West Fargo, the City of Moorhead, and Clay County Sheriff's Office, then we can all work together, and we can, we don't have to commit as many resources, but yet we're still able to go out and work through the issues that those particular groups, work on. So working collaboratively is certainly a benefit to us, and it's also fiscally responsible to the taxpayers of Cass County.
So one of the things, Sheriff Jahner, that I was the most impressed when you did this 4 years ago, and I can't believe those 4 years passed by this fast, but one of the things that I was the most impressed that you said you were going to do, and then I found out you did do, was realize that there's a whole great big county out there, not just Fargo. you went to those small town cafes. You visited with people. You gave them access to their sheriff, which normally people don't always have that access. So what did you hear? What did you hear from the people of Cass County and Leonard and communities like that?
Sure. Well, first of all, like I mentioned when we first started off here, Joel, it's very important for me to be out in the community and to, again, work with our citizens. This position being elected by the people, it's important for me to be out there and conversing with them on a regular basis to see what they really want from their sheriff's office. What do they want from their sheriff? And so one of the things that I took upon myself was to go out at least one day a week out into the county and have coffee, breakfast with our citizens. And through doing that, really listening to them and seeing, where they think the law enforcement concerns are and how can our sheriff's office do better and what areas can we do better? How can we work, again, collaboratively to curtail crime in those particular areas? And so a lot of the things that I heard when I was out doing that was just that they wanted visibility. Our citizens wanted to see us. They wanted us in our communities. They were interested in partnering with us in different activities, community events, really so we could build those relationships, build those partnerships. Because as you know, if a citizen feels comfortable coming and talking to a law enforcement officer, that's where that exchange of information is going to happen, right? Where someone sees some criminal activity, they trust that particular officer, and now they're going to give that officer information, which then allows us to work on those issues that are driving those criminal activities in those particular areas. And so it's very important to me. And not only that, but I just enjoy being out visiting with our citizens and, not sitting at a desk every day, right? And really going out and seeing how our deputies are doing out in the county. And much like you said, it's a very big county. And so if we don't do that, it's really easy to lose touch with our citizens.
So what are you doing to communicate in the little bit of time I have left?
Yep.
To make sure people know more about Jesse Jahner? Are you doing it through Facebook? Are you doing it on a website? You're up for election, and you're asking people to vote for you again. Yeah. How are you telling them to vote for you again?
Sure. So we have first of all, I'm still going to be out in the communities all the time, right? But when I'm working, we obviously can't talk about election stuff. So, but people always have access to me as their sheriff because I'm going to be out doing community events. But as far as the election portion and getting the information out, certainly I have a committee put together. We're just building off of what I did 3 years ago when we ran my campaign. And so I have those committee members put together. We've already been out and very active in the community and doing a lot of things through the campaign. I've got a Facebook page that people can go to and kind of follow my activity as I work through the campaign, and that's Jahner for Sheriff on Facebook. And then I've got a couple other websites. I've got an email address, which is jahnerforsheriff@gmail.com, and then a website, which is jahnerforsheriff.com. So there's a lot of different places that people can go and follow our activity as we move forward. And we'll be very, very, very open and available as I move forward through the campaign.
Well, that's always been your MO,
yep.
Making sure you are available. So, Sheriff, I was about to call you Jesse, but let's get this weather turned around so you and I can go back out and ride Harley sometime.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That'd be great. It's been a long winter, a lot of different blizzards and stuff. So, yeah, thanks, Joel.
Sheriff Jesse Jahner, ladies and gentlemen.